Hello, boys and girls. This is a little bit of my garden. I have some little houses over here, and I've got some flowers that I've planted. And I just wanted to show you my garden because it is a beautiful sunny day, and I think a lot of you might be planting seeds with your family. So this brought me to Eric Carle's book, The Tiny Seed. And I think this is a good setting outside. I hope it's not too bright, so that we can read The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle and maybe be inspired to plant some seeds yourself at your house and to see how they grow. So this is Eric Carle, The Tiny Seed. This book had a CD with it. We can't listen to that right now because we're not at school with a CD player. So we'll just carry on here. The Tiny Seed, and I will read it to you. Now, in this book, it starts out, it's autumn. So let me find a good place where you can see it without too many shadows. And that happens a lot outside with lots of shadows. Here we go. I'm going to put this Tiny Seed book right here in my garden for our story. So it is autumn. A strong wind is blowing. You can see it blowing all of the trees. And the trees are all different colors because in the autumn is another name for fall. And that's when the trees change color and the leaves fall off the trees. And right now it's not autumn, but the story starts out there. A strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high into the air and carries them far across the land. One of the seeds is tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up with the others? Where are they going? One of the seeds flies higher than any of the others. Up, up it goes. It flies too high, and the sun's hot rays burn it up. But the tiny seed sails on with the others. There's the one that gets burned up from the sun. Another seed lands on a tall and icy mountain. The ice never melts, and the seed cannot grow. The rest of the seeds fly on, but the tiny seed does not go as fast as the others. Now they fly over the ocean. One seed falls into the water and drowns. The others sail away on the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. The tiny seed is still going. There's the tiny seed right there. Still flying along. One seed drifts down onto the desert. It is hot and dry, and the seed cannot grow. Now the tiny seed is flying very low, but the wind pushes it on with the others. Can you see the tiny seed? Here it is, right there. Finally, the wind stops, and the seeds fall gently down on the ground. A bird comes by and eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten. It's so small, the bird did not see it. Can you see the tiny seed? It's a little bit harder to see this time. Way over here. Now it is winter time. And after their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they're going to go to sleep in the earth. Snow falls and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch, but the tiny seed lies very still and the mouse doesn't see it. Can you see the tiny seed? Right over here. Now it is spring, and it's spring right now, for real, in our world. And this is the time that we are planting seeds, and that's why I thought this book was so good. So now it is springtime. After a few months, the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by. The sun shines, the rain falls, and the seeds grow so round and full they start to burst open a little bit. Now they are not seeds anymore. They're plants. First, they send up little roots, and then the roots go down into the earth, just like you see here. Then their little stems and leaves begin to grow toward the sun and the air. There is another plant that grows much faster than the new little plants, and it is a big fat weed. It takes all the sunlight and the rain away from one of the small new plants, and that little plant dies. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. But finally, it's not too late. It starts to grow into a little plant. Here it is here. The little seed grows into a little tiny plant right there. The warm weather also brings the children out to play. I bet you're running around playing outside too right now. They too have been waiting for sun and springtime to occur. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along, and he breaks one. Now it can't grow anymore. So we must be careful not to step on the little plants when you're playing outside so that they can grow. The tiny plant that grew from the tiny seed is growing fast, but its neighbor, the other plant here, is growing much faster. Before the tiny plant even has 3 leaves, 1, 2, 3, the other plant has 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then look, a bud and even a flower. But what is happening? First, there's some footsteps. Then a shadow looms over them and a hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. A boy has picked the flower to give to a friend, just like we saw in the last story. It's summer now, and that'll be in a few months. It'll be summer here too. Now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on and on. It doesn't stop. The sun shines on it, and the rain waters it, and it has many leaves. It grows taller and taller. It's taller than the people. It's taller than the trees. It's taller than the houses. And now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It's the tallest flower they have ever seen. It's a giant flower. And all summer long, the birds and the bees and the butterflies come visiting. They have never seen such a big and beautiful flower. Now it is autumn again, another name for fall. And that's when you'll go back to school. Maybe we'll all be together in the fall. The days grow shorter, the nights grow colder, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some petals drop from the giant flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. The wind blows harder, and the flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends away from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and it shakes the flower. Once more, the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower's seed pods open up, and out come many tiny seeds that quickly sail far away in the wind. And then it starts all over. As they sail away, one of them becomes a tiny seed and grows and will be another beautiful flower. So maybe you can plant some flowers in your home. I have a few here. I have a few little tiny flowers that are growing. They won't be big flowers, they're just little ones. But I just wanted to hope that you guys are planting flowers too, because like my little sign here in my garden says, she who plants a garden plants happiness. And that goes for boys too. He who plants a garden plants happiness. Someone gave me that sign. I hope you guys are happy now and out in the sunshine and having a good day. And I will have another story for you soon. But this has been Eric Carle Week, and so we are happy to explore a lot of Eric Carle's stories, and this is one of my favorites. Thank you, and bye-bye.